What's up everyone, it's Lovenji here, and today we're going to be looking at mission 21, Fractured Earth. Now, the last mission introduced us to the Angel of Death spell, so it probably comes as no surprise to you that this mission is going to introduce us to the Volcano spell. It has a few other interesting quirks, but I'll not spoil it. Let's get this underway. So, here we are, mission 21, Fractured Earth. We're going into a sped up segment. However, I want you to pay very close attention to what I'm actually doing here. So, a unique element to this particular mission is the fact that the ground will erupt in lava if left alone for a long amount of time. So I'm very quickly trying to rush production of huts, and I'm doing so in a very specific way. I'm focusing entirely on this right-hand side or eastern bank, and I'm trying to build as many huts as possible, not really letting Braves rest in the huts so much as I am trying to use all of the available wood and building up the huts. I've also prioritized the swamp spell to be one of my first charging spells over the lightning spell. And the reason for that is pretty self-explanatory. The enemy will attack you with numerous magical shields throughout the course of this mission, and as I've said, swamp and hypnotize are much better, and pretty much the only spells that can deal with magical shield. So you can see there's an awful lot of smoke coming from that land, and that is foreshadowing what is about to happen. So at around this point, it comes as no surprise that the land is about to erupt. So I shift-click all my Braves and get them the heck out of there. So yes. Lava, when it touches your buildings, it removes 1 wood stage of HP, so you're probably thinking, why would I build all those huts knowing that they'd get damaged? It's significantly better than the alternative. For if you did not build all those huts and you just left that land, that would all now be damaged land, and you would not be able to build on that land for a significantly longer amount of time. Not only that, but all the wood that would have been there, that would have been unused in these huts, would have then been burnt and subsequently lost anyway. So it's just about making the most efficient use of the resources at the start of the game before that particular event occurs. Now, I don't do it in my playthrough, but I would strongly recommend people utilise the Land Bridge spell to make this terrain slightly more walkable. You saw it there, and you'll see it again a couple more times throughout this playthrough, that my shaman will get stuck on really weird shapes and bits of terrain that don't really make that much sense. So that was one of the magical shielded attacks that I was telling you about, in which is pretty self-explanatory. They covered themselves in magical shield and attacked, and that can be a real pain in the backside if you're not expecting it, because that was purely warriors and preachers. An incredibly annoying conversation. And that is my shaman in the background getting stuck on terrain. A nearby lightning spell shakes the ground enough that the preacher can't focus on preaching, and with the Braves take care of the rest. If you spam click a Brave that's stuck like that, you may have noticed he slowly climbs the mountain, and what that will do will eventually get him unstuck, as well as sounding very funny in 400 times speed. So, you may have realised that the Vault of Knowledge always contains a spell that the enemy shaman possesses at the time. In the previous mission, we had to pray at the Angel of Death Vault of Knowledge while she was attacking us with the Angel of Death. So it should come as no surprise to those of you who have been paying attention that we're probably going to be experiencing attacks from the Volcano spell. And you would be correct. In fact, she does so via balloon from behind after that attack. So what I am doing is I'm establishing a wall of fire warriors. Now the fire warriors targeting means that the attacks will still get through, but they should be able to snipe the shaman before she can throw out any really nasty spells, other than the occasional lightning and sometimes a tornado. I've tried doing it with huts. If you put 5 warriors, fire warriors in an upgraded hut, they will shoot out and they will absolutely kill the shaman, but because the hut range is so small compared to the guard tower, you'll find that she will always get her damaging spells off first. So here I'm using the Hypnotize spell to gain control of these fire warriors and make the magical shield disappear. I'm then using them as warriors to try and deal with the other fire warriors. But as you can see, 10 fire warriors in balloons with magical shield on is incredibly annoying to deal with, in that you can't really deal with it. If I'd gone too close with my shaman and been killed there, that would have been my only way of dealing with it, gone. So we're just removing that little expansion. That little expansion is protecting the volcano spell, and we're going to want that for our attack. I realise at this point that I don't have the other training huts established and should probably do so. But fire warriors are really the only followers you need for this mission. You can do the rest with the shaman. So I'm just making sure that my village slowly grows in size. The volcano spell is the most intense spell to have to use within the game, so you need as much mana regeneration as possible to be able to utilize it, especially when you start thinking about utilizing that and the Angel of Death at the same time, as I do to clear this mission. That volcano goes off when you pray at the Vault of Knowledge, and that will damage those buildings if you haven't already cleared them out. But I find it quite difficult to actually pray at the Vault of Knowledge without having cleared out those buildings, and therefore have never really seen much use to that volcano that spawns. So that was a kill on the enemy shaman as she flew in with her balloon, which is exactly what I was saying. She gets a spell cast off, but otherwise dies before she uses anything dangerous like the volcano. And that was her dying again. I am utilising the speed up function quite a bit. The main reason for that is all I'm doing is trying to make sure my mana regeneration is up to scratch. And all that really involves is building huts, waiting for the huts to upgrade, building huts, waiting for the huts to upgrade. And now that I have the mana regeneration to support Angel of Death, I'm just casting Angels of Death on cooldown. Utilising the balloon was my solution to the terrain problem. I'd still recommend using land bridges, as it's cheaper and easier. But and you're less vulnerable to fire warriors flying by. But utilising Angels of Death and a balloon is fine. So yeah, all I'm doing is just casting an Angel of Death as soon as the spell is on cooldown, making sure that I have sufficient huts. The Angel of Death will be whittling down the Dakini population, make it very difficult for them to ever actually amass a sizable enough army that they will be able to attack me. And you may have noticed the speeding up has stopped. That is because at this point I get quite impatient. The actual recording of this mission was about 30 minutes long, and I was like, why are they still alive? I've hit them with several Angels of Death. Their population is probably dwindling. Cast one more Angel of Death. Fix the game speed, because not only did I speed up the actual video, but I was actually playing the game with its in-game speed up on as well. That's how much I was just waiting for population to increase. And now we get to unleash true hell. And I do so rather slowly, just to enjoy the chaos of it all. So, as I quite love to do, I like to build up all the spells and then unleash everything. You've got fire raining, you've got volcano going off, tornadoes everywhere. I got picked up by my own tornado and thrown across the map, which is perfectly fine. That was my own fault, to be fair, because I sort of flew into it. But you all saw Mission 12. If I didn't fly into it, it would have chased me. And we are going into the last speed up segment of the game, which is The Dakini no longer have the capacity to oppose us. We're just trying to force them into surrender mode. And I don't do the full 400% speed up because there's no need. I really like the Earthquake spell. I think I talked about this in the last mission. It's very underrated. But other than that, this will be the end of the mission. So with the Volcano spell unlocked, that spells the end of us unlocking spells via the Vault of Knowledge. In fact, that'll be the last Vault of Knowledge that we visit in the game as we begin the end game for Populous, the beginning. As always, like, share the video, subscribe, let me know in the comments what you'd like to see, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.